Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to thank all of you all for attending today. Thank you for being on this journey with us for the last 19 days. We have some very important updates for you all today. Today, speaking will be the Director of EMA, Ms. Sharon Webb, our Fire Chief, Maran McDaniel, EPD, EPA, Dr. Lynn Paxton from the Gwinnett County Health Department, and Chairman Nesbitt. We also invited BioLab, but they declined. Shortly after the speakers, we'll take a few questions, and up next is Director Webb.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Webb, Director of EMA for Rockdale County. Today, I'm here, as Dr. Milne stated, with Fire Rescue, EPA, EPD, Rockdale County, and Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale Public Health. Today is day 19 of the incident that occurred September 29th at BioLab, located at 1603 Old Covington Highway. For the past 19 days, crews have worked day and night to mitigate the situation at the incident site. This morning, after a thorough discussion, review, and walkthrough of the site, it was conducted by the incident commander, EPA, EPD, and BioLab. It was decided that in their conclusion that the shelter in place for all of Rockdale County will be effective immediately October 17th, 2024. At this time, I would like to call up Chief McDaniel with Rockdale County Fire Rescue to give an update on fire rescue operations on the site.
Well, good afternoon once again. Maran McDaniel, Fire Chief, Rockdale County Fire Rescue. Before we get into the update, I want to take a moment to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the surrounding fire departments that assisted us during this time. Atlanta Fire Rescue, Clayton County Fire, Newton County, Covington, DeKalb County, Henry County, City of Forest Park, Union City, Social Circle, and Walton County. Thank you once again for assisting us during this time. Once again, as we're in the 19th day of this BioLab incident, our mitigation plans and efforts have proven successful. Trichlor was the main chemical involved in the incident. It's the product located on the shelves. There's another product, which is cyanuric acid. It is non-chlorine. We did locate that in there, but that was not part of this incident. The trichlor was the main ingredient. About 4 million pounds of that. 787 gallons of water have been used to neutralize this product and been taken off to the hazmat waste facility. There have been two primary companies working with the Rockdale County Fire Rescue. They're both based out of Texas, and they will continue to be on site once Rockdale County Fire Rescue pulls away from BioLab. OSHA will also be on site to continue to monitor to make sure all further operations are going as planned. But once again, everything is going well. All of the product has been removed, and that's where we are as of right now.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Conti. I'm with Georgia EPD. So Unified Command is preparing and planning for an operational shift or transition from response actions to remediation actions. So these operations or these actions include ongoing, and they provide for continuity with ongoing site and community air monitoring, surface water monitoring, debris and waste management, and soil remediation. Each one of those actions or activities has its own separate plan. Those plans are currently under review and development to ensure compliance with state and federal regulations. And that's all I have at this time.
Hi, my name is Brian Vasser. I'm an on-scene coordinator with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and my primary job out at this response has been doing air monitoring in the community. So EPA has been conducting air monitoring within the community since the fire began, since early Sunday morning. As operations have started to control the source and reduce the source that's giving off the chlorine, we've seen the plume reduce. That's been visible, and it's also been detected by our instrumentation that people have seen throughout the community. It's been a joint effort doing community monitoring with two different companies from BioLab as well as EPA personnel. You've probably seen people out driving around collecting air monitoring. You've probably noticed, if you live further out, that as the plume is reduced, we've moved more of our community efforts, our community air monitoring efforts in. Over the past 72 hours, we have not really had much of a visible plume, if any, and we've not had any exceedances of any of the action levels that were previously established with Rockdale County and with public health to protect the citizens. And so that was what Unified Command based their decision off of today, was that all the community air monitoring was pointing that the shelter in place could be lifted. So that's all I have for now.
Good afternoon. I'm Lynn Paxton. I am the director of the Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale Health District. And Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale has been working with the local authorities since the very beginning of this incident. And we currently receive many inquiries about the health effects and what to do. And so I want to just remind people that to remember that the effects of an exposure to any hazardous substance depend on what the dose was, the duration, and the method of exposure, and of course any personal factors to that person, such as underlying illness. As we've just heard from EPA, in the past 72 hours we have had no exceedances that have reached that level, which is wonderful. Most exposures in this incident resulted in only minor symptoms. However, for people who do have symptoms, generally after an acute exposure to chlorine-type gases such as this, any deficits in pulmonary function generally return to baseline within about 1 to 2 weeks. However, people with underlying illnesses such as COPD, asthma, should always consult with their medical provider. So public health is working with the Poison Center, with local providers, and with hospitals to gather data. However, data collection is ongoing and it's not yet complete. And I have to remind people, we are at the beginning of cold and flu season. So, therefore, where you always get an increase in respiratory symptoms. So I'm just saying that it was going to take careful epidemiologic analysis to give a picture of effects due to exposures from this incident. So don't expect them today, but we are certainly working on that. So our advice really hasn't changed. For people who have any symptoms that they think might be related to this, they should contact their provider. If they have severe symptoms, such as chest pain or problems breathing, they should seek emergency care. And they can always call the Poison Control Center, which has set up a special hotline for this, and the number for that is 404-856-6252. Thank you.
I'm Chairman Oz Nesbitt, the chairman and CEO of Rockdale County. This is the day that we've been waiting to get to. This is day 19, and we're at a point where I've been standing by for a call from our fire chief to give me the green light that all is clear, and we're ready to put Rockdale back to business. And when I say back to business, allowing our school system to come back into session, our local businesses to open back up. This has been a major impact on economic development. Rockdale County is resilient, and we're ready to get back to rocking and rolling. We want to say thank you to all of our public safety and health partners, because the first step in this process has been public safety, public safety, public safety. You've heard me say that multiple times. Our focus has been on keeping our community safe. So to the Sheriff's Office, the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, the City of Conyers Police Department, the Rockdale County Fire and Rescue, our emergency management, and all of our state and federal partners, EPA, EPD, the Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale Health Department, and all of those partners and entities who've been a part of making sure that we mitigate and navigate through this process. Our community has been held hostage for a number of days, a number of weeks. We're ready to get back to some sense of normalcy. So as the chairman of Rockdale County, I'm certainly, on behalf of all of our citizens, residents, and business owners, we are glad to be at this point and to be able to turn this complete operation over to the hands of the corporate management and leadership of BioLab. We extended an invitation to BioLab to participate in this press conference, and quite frankly, I think is a slap in the face. I feel like the citizens and business owners who have been held hostage for the last 19 days deserve to hear directly from the leadership and the corporate management of BioLab. As you've heard me state a moment ago, we're closing out our involvement in it from a safety and mitigation standpoint, and now it transitions to the complete lap of BioLab, and the county takes a totally different position from this point forward.
What's your response to two things? One, the calls from citizens for BioLab's closure in Rockdale County after a number of incidents, and two, the citizens who are saying they've been left in the dark for the past couple of weeks?
Well, I share the sentiments of many of our residents and business owners in Rockdale County. Enough is enough. And that statement means that it is beyond time. It's past time to have some very serious conversations with the corporate leadership and management of BioLab.
Can you expand on what happens next with schools and with businesses?
I'm not in a position to speak on behalf of the Rockdale County Public School System and the school superintendent, but I will tell you that all of our parents and students and educators in our community are anxiously waiting to get back to normal operations in terms of school activities, school hours. Education is important, and it's been held hostage for the last 19 days. So we are eagerly waiting to get back to school involvement.
Chairman Nesbitt, so has the cleanup, is it complete now? Are we done with the cleanup?
As it relates to the Rockdale Fire and Rescue, from that mitigation point, our work is done. It's now left up to BioLab and all of the contract services that they've hired to come in and continue to do the rest of what they need to do. But in terms of public health and public safety, when it involves our local fire and rescue, our job is complete.
Can you trust BioLab to do what they're supposed to do?
Well, that's where the oversight of our fire and rescue and emergency management and the corporate office of Rockdale County, which includes the office of the chairman, steps in to continue those talks and conversations to make sure that what is supposed to happen at that site from this point forward happens on behalf of all of the citizens and business owners here in Rockdale County. So although our work is complete, the ongoing process takes on a different stage from this point going forward.
So will you be meeting with them weekly, or
I
what's the
think
plan?
EPA can share something to that as well. Do you have any further comments as far as operations?
Well, once again, once we close out Rockdale County Fire Rescue, OSHA will be on site every day until this is complete. As far as Rockdale County Fire Rescue, of course, we'll be going by periodically, still being in contact, but not on the ground. See, a member of Rockdale County Fire Rescue has been at BioLab all 19 days, all through the night. We are pulling back from that as we close out this segment of it, and then it's passed on to BioLab, but there are check and balances in place. Yes, ma'am. The main chemical, the trichlor, has been removed and neutralized and hauled off to a hazmat waste company.
Will EPA and EPD continue to be on site?
I think they're coming up, EPA, EPD.
Good afternoon, Jose Negron with the US EPA. The answer to that is yes. EPD will take the lead on the cleanup, but EPA will be standing right behind them to support them, review plans, and make any revisions to those plans that need to be made.
In terms of sanctions against BioLab going forward, who all will be investigating? Will it be EPD, EPA, the county?
That's a long list of different agencies, which I have no idea which one they are, but that's outside of the scope of any of us right here. We're just doing the response, making sure that the community is safe.
In terms of remediation, have you all identified what will need to be remediated specifically? And is there a type of site designation name that EPA has for this?
We have the initial chemical, the TCCA, is gone, right? Now it's a matter of dealing with the residual of the chemicals that are non-hazardous, and the cleanup, which is going to essentially going to be more like a construction site. So a lot of dust, and that's going to be the main concern. Nothing of hazard.
Question over here.
Is the Chairman Nesbitt, is the county looking to any kind of financial aid opportunities for either workers or local businesses who lost work because of the shelter-in-place recommendations?
Currently, the position of Rockdale County is to wrap up this process, as we stated earlier. BioLab, as you know, has opened up a community resource center to give out resources to folks in the community, and that includes residents and businesses alike. In terms of county operation, we're doing what we need to do internally to take care of our employees and our involvement through our talent management department and our legal county attorney.
Can you talk about the people who reported illnesses, symptoms, and more specifically, will the health department develop a database to keep track of these people, just in case something develops down the road?
What we have instituted is from day one, poison control has been getting the majority of phoned-in questions, and so they've been keeping a log of this, what the symptoms are, where they came from, and so we have that log too. The Department of Public Health has also set up a surveillance system in which they're gathering information from the hospitals that have emergency departments and all that, and also from local providers so that they can report directly into the system. So as I said, though, we don't keep a registry per se to reach out to particular people because a lot of this is HIPAA protected. However, what we are doing is we're monitoring in general. And as I said, we will be doing, there will be a rigorous analysis of what this data shows. What I can say is that even in the first days of this response, while there were lots of calls and there were complaints of minor symptoms, as to my knowledge, no one has needed to be hospitalized for this, and I do not believe that there were even that many visits to the emergency room. But again, I'm not in possession of the full data set right now.
I spoke with a young man who was hospitalized.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking if will you follow up with things like this? Will you, for people who may develop more serious respiratory issues years down the road, will you be able to kind of like track and monitor their health as the years go by?
We at the health department per se are not really the ones who will be doing that sort of individual tracking with a particular patient. That's why we stress so much that people really need to be in contact with their health providers. And again, I know that BioLab has set up some sort of a response to this. But at the moment, what we are doing is we're looking at it in the whole to see, what is the number of cases that have come up. Is there an indication that it's been, that it has reached certain levels in different parts of the county? And so we'll be in a better position to make a comment about that in general, but we do not track individuals to keep a long-term look at them, but we encourage them to be working with their doctors, with their healthcare providers. Okay.
Which agency would handle sanctions and fines against BioLab? Who would handle it?
As many of you all are aware, there are a list of private individuals as well as corporate entities who have already lodged and staged complaints against BioLab and their operation. Those are done individually. Anyone lodging a complaint or filing any type of legal litigation, that will be that individual's personal responsibility, or the company or the legal firm, should I say, that may be representing a business or an individual. So the county is not keeping a log of that information at all.
Sharon, can you tell us what this has cost the county in terms of the firefighter manpower, running power, to work over there through day 19? Yesterday or today?
So let me just go ahead and answer your question. I can't put a dollar amount on it at this point. We're still in the process of quantifying what that number is. I tell you, it has certainly created a burden and a stress on the operations of Rockdale County. You do recall that we had to shut down our county operations. We've had a number of fire and rescue individuals on site. As you heard the fire chief mention a moment ago, constantly 24 hours a day around the clock. In addition, there's been a cost to businesses having to shut down. Schools have been closed. So many people have been impacted by this, and we're not at a point in terms of what it has cost Rockdale County. We have not tallied up that number as of yet. We're working on that, but we've not summarized that number as of this point.
Last question.
So this has happened over and over again until we got until this point. And there are multiple agencies that oversee, operations like this, including agencies that are here today. How did we get to this point? Why wasn't it stopped before now?
I can't speak to the past. What I can tell you where we are in the current stage, this administration is very serious. We've heard from multiple of our citizens and business owners, and you've heard me say a little while ago, enough is enough. BioLab has held this community hostage for the last 19 days. So I don't know what happened in the past with the previous Board of Commissioners or the previous leadership in this community, but I will assure you, and I'll assure the citizens of Rockdale County, that this board, this administration, will be entering and engaging in some very serious conversations with the corporate leadership and management of BioLab. This is the third incident in 20 years, and enough is enough, and we're going to make sure that we're proactive in moving forward. I cannot describe what that really means at this point because we don't know. The first responsibility was public safety. We're at this point, I've received the green light from the fire chief. Now we will move into having a different level and different type of conversations with corporate management and leadership of BioLab.
Thank you. Thank you all for attending today.